The NFT market has crashed. Crypto is dead. I've been getting a lot of questions around what I'm doing during this time, how I'm changing my strategy. I'm going to be answering those questions, and in this video I'm also going to be giving away more whitelists to the upcoming NFT Expert Summit. I'm also going to be talking about when we're going to be minting, when the summit's going to be held, a bunch of info. You're not going to want to miss that, so let's get into it. So for those who know me, you know I'm quite transparent on this channel. I share my wins, but I also share my losses. I'm first to tell you that I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing I say or do is investment advice, because I don't know what I'm doing. We're constantly just making this up. I've been really fortunate and lucky in some ways to make a lot of money with NFTs, but I've also made some really bad decisions. And recently we saw the Bitcoin and ETH charts, or all the charts basically, dropped bad. ETH dropped below $1,000 in US dollars, and a lot of people thought that that was never going to happen. And when it happened, I had a bunch of JPEGs, a bunch of NFTs that I still hadn't sold, and I thought, you know what, now might be the time for me to cut my losses and to sell a bunch of them and just accumulate some USDC in case it just continues to crash. Because I thought, all right, well, below 1,000, you know, we could potentially drop another 50% more. And we've seen what's been happening with NFT floors. Like, NFT floors have been staying pretty consistent around their ETH mark when the cost of ETH in US dollars term has been dropping a lot. And I had about $20,000 worth of NFTs that I was considering selling that I didn't really want to hold long term. And so in my head, I thought, all right, we've hit $1,000 with regards to ETH. It could go down to 500, it could go lower, or it could not. But the risk was it could drop another 50%, and if it dropped another 50% and we saw a full capitulation, then people would panic and dump the floor as well on those NFTs. So I thought, all right, I'm just going to cash out this $20,000, and that's better than, you know, waiting till it hits $10,000 or $5,000, right? But regrettably, if I had have done this maybe a month ago, that $20,000 would have been closer to $60,000 or $70,000. So I feel a little bit stupid for waiting this long. And next time around, I'll definitely be adjusting my strategy, and I'll answer a question around what exactly I plan on doing next time around with regards to this. But in hindsight, today, ETH is at 1,100. I actually sold like the Pico bottom, and this is important to know. I think I really want to be transparent and share with you guys the way I go about trading and how I think about trading, and the fact that I'm not always right. Like, I'm definitely wrong a lot of the time. But do I regret it? No, I feel okay about it. I took out the money. That money's great. That money can help my family in other ways. I can reinvest that money back into my project or into my personal brand. Yeah, I still feel good about it, even though that if I had have just held on for a few more days and sold now, I would have gotten, I mean, it's gone up 20%, right, since I did that. So 20% of 20 grand is about 4 grand. So opportunity cost obviously lost a little bit there, but it is what it is. And yeah, this is just all part of it, knowing that we can never figure it out. I personally believe that we're going to see a lot more pain across all industries, across all markets. I don't think we've seen like the full recession hit yet. And I think that when that happens, it could affect crypto pretty badly. So that's my investment thesis. I have no idea if it's going to be true or not, but we'll find out. Now, before we get into the questions, I wanted to give a quick update on the NFT Expert Summit. It is my free mint. If you're new here, I'm putting together a 100% free mint that actually has nothing to do with the free mint meta that's going on in the NFT world. I actually decided it was going to be a free mint long before these free mint hype cycle started. But that's besides the point. I just wanted to get a private Discord community and bring in a bunch of the best traders I know, some of the best expert speakers in the NFT space. I've got guys like Zeneca, Ryan D Crypto, Champ, like guys that I've mentioned before, guys that I'm keeping secret, guys that you've never heard of before. Even if I said their name, you wouldn't even recognize them, but I personally know them from meeting them in different Discord communities, and they are absolutely gun traders, and they're coming to teach everyone in that private Discord. Anyone who has a ticket to the NFT Expert Summit is going to be able to learn from these guys and learn how to trade better and make more money with NFTs, which is why we're all here, I guess. So I'm really excited for that. I was planning on minting at the end of June. This whole crypto market crash, extreme fear, extreme anxiety in the market, I thought it was a little bit tone deaf to push on with that mint, especially when things were really, really crazy. I just know that, people behave really irrationally during those times. So I thought it was in the best interest of everyone if we just push the mint back a couple of weeks. So we'll be minting in the first or second week of July. I'll make an announcement on Twitter and on YouTube, obviously. I've got a lot of you guys on my email list. If you want updates on the NFT Expert Summit, or if you want to get whitelist, there's a Google form below this video. You just fill it out. I randomly pick whitelist from anyone who fills out that form every video. And I'll also send an update on the NFT Expert Summit exact mint time and mint date. Mint price is already decided, obviously, it's free. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've secured a few more expert traders, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to learn a lot from it, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I think it's so important for someone like me who is within NFTs for the long term and really wants to be successful long term. This summit is as much for me as it is for everybody else. I feel like I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to be so much better off for it long term. So let's get into the questions. There's a couple of really good questions and timely questions around this market. So let's do it. So this question comes from the really common consensus, which is when the markets are down and there's a lot of fear in the market, the blue chip NFTs, the ones that are regarded as the most special and coincidentally the most expensive, are a lot cheaper than they normally are. And this is pretty fascinating because we've seen like Bored Ape Yacht Club below $100,000 for the first time in a long time. And so the consensus is that you buy these blue chip stocks when they're down, or blue chip NFTs when they're down, and when the markets recover and return, they'll eventually go back up. Me personally, I always thought that I would get into this. When I first started out, I talked about this before. I started out with 0.6 Ethereum. There was just no way I could play this kind of blue chip accumulation game. And I've thought about this a lot, and I've decided that I'm not going to buy any blue chips during this bear. And the reason is simple, is that I look back at the success that I've had with NFTs and how I've gone about creating that success. And I've gone about it a really certain way. Like I've gone about it through stealth mints, through free mints, through degen plays, but also through accumulating whitelists and feeling like I did a good job at trying to get myself into areas and opportunities where I could get those whitelists, as well as trying to accumulate the whitelist that I was most excited for, the whitelist that I thought could do really well. And so they're the two main ways that I've been successful in NFTs. I haven't been successful in NFTs ever buying blue chips and trying to sell blue chips. I mean, like the only blue chip I own is a Moonbird, and I didn't sell it at the top when it was worth 150,000 Australian dollars or whatever it is. And now it's much closer to worth $20,000. So I think when I self-reflected, I realized, well, why would I go into a game that I have no experience in? So even though it is really common consensus that people accumulate blue chip NFTs because they have to go up, having quotation marks there, during the bull run, I think I believe that. I think that that's likely to happen, but I don't trust myself and my skill set enough to bank on me picking the right ones. So I'm not going to pivot away from what I know works. I'm going to keep sticking to what I know works, and I'm going to hopefully just ride the pump back up next time when we hit that bull run with NFTs. But I won't be accumulating any blue chip NFTs right now, and I definitely won't be accumulating any mid chip NFTs either for the same reasons. So, and I guess the other reason that I wanted to talk about is that I'm a big believer that the NFT space has like shiny object syndrome. So shiny object syndrome is like we're just obsessed with like the next thing, the next shiny thing. It's kind of like the reason why CryptoPunks kind of like got faded a little bit by the Bored Ape Yacht Club, because I mean you can go into a huge debate about which one is better, but essentially like CryptoPunks were the OG and they looked unbeatable, and then this new shiny object thing came in and Bored Ape Yacht Club was the next cool thing, and the punks suffered a little bit from that. And so I can kind of predict that the next hype cycle we have with NFTs, and who knows when it'll be, but I can kind of see that a lot of the blue chip NFTs from this first cycle might actually fall into kind of the faded territory that CryptoPunks have fallen into. So it doesn't mean that they're going to go to zero, but they might not stay and remain that like elite top tier blue chip status that a lot of us think they will. Or a lot of us think that, all of these projects like Azuki and Doodles and Cool Cats and World of Women and VFriends, Moonbirds, all of them. If I've forgotten any, sorry, don't kill me. But a lot of people think that next NFT bull run we get, all of these are just going to fly up to the moon again. And I think that it's more likely that we'll get 1, 2, or 3 of them really run up, but the rest will kind of get left behind. And what will replace them will be these new projects, these new shiny projects that come out in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months that you and I have no idea what they are. The project founders might not have even thought of these projects yet, but when they come, we'll be able to recognize them. And I much prefer to be stacking my ETH and accumulating my ETH to ride those kinds of pump ups when the time comes, as opposed to betting on one of these season 1 blue chips from now. So that's my personal strategy. I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but that's kind of the investment thesis I'm going with. And I'm going to stick to it until I'm proven wrong. And I've talked about this before as well. Always be willing to be proved wrong. If I get proven wrong and that just is a terrible idea, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to admit it because I think that has really helped me as well with my investing strategy. So hope that answers your question. Hope that gives you an insight. We'll find out if I'm right eventually. So the free mint meta. So I think with NFTs, there's always a period of maybe like 3 to 6 weeks of meta before it changes. And we're roughly in that zone right now with this free mint meta. The difference between this meta compared to the other metas that we've seen, so we've seen the anime meta, we saw the cartoon animals meta, we've had so many little metas along the way, but the difference with the free mint meta is because it's based upon price and not based on the actual characteristics of the actual NFTs. I could see it actually staying around a little bit longer than previous metas and not being faded out so quickly. I think we've all realized, being in this industry for nearly a year now, that a lot of teams don't actually have to raise $1, $2, $3 million for the PFP projects that they're putting together. And everyone's kind of realizing that, okay, if a team is saying that they want a 0.1 mint price or a 0.2 mint price, then if we feel like they don't deserve that, or we feel like as a community that is unnecessary, then we vote with our wallets and don't mint. And so I think a lot of projects that were once getting away with that because people were willing to speculate, people are much more ruthless now. And so until we get another kind of bull run where everything that mints goes up basically, and we have a big influx of new people coming in, I can't see the meta changing too quickly in that sense. So I think a lot of these projects will have to stick to doing the free mints and trying to make money on secondary with royalties from secondary sales, which I spoke about before has pros and cons. Like, it's beneficial because you're not giving these founders like huge money up front, so it requires them to work and actually earn their money, which I'm very bullish on. But then it also kind of gives people an out with regards to, just slapping together free mint projects all the time and letting people speculate on them. Like, a lot of projects are rugging doing this. So there are pros and cons, but at the moment, I think, we'll continue to see a lot of free mints, and then we'll continue to see a lot of paid mints. I'm definitely a big advocate for paid mints. I think that if a team has a really great project idea or roadmap idea, and they need funding, they need to hire big teams, development staff, software engineers, I think, it's great to be able to charge money for that and reward people that have initially mint and initially invest. I love that about the NFT space, so I think that'll come back as well. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens. And as always, I'm always keeping my eye on it and trying to adapt to see how the market's changing, because when it changes quite quickly, so we need to be across it. All right, that's it for this video. With the whitelist for the NFT Expert Summit, you still have a chance to get whitelisted. I can't stress that enough. Like, people keep asking, is there chances to get whitelisted? Like, I want to give people chances to get whitelisted all the way up to the mint, so all the way up to the 1st or 2nd week of July. Keep those notifications on my YouTube channel. Keep filling out the Google forms. I talked about other ways to get whitelisted in multiple other videos before, so I'm not going to repeat them now. I'm going to reward people that have been watching my content for real and keep rewarding people that way. So go back and watch my other videos on there. I've got a bunch of videos that I think are really helpful to people. Like I share in full transparency how I made my first 100 grand with NFTs. That video is up here somewhere. I'll also include some links to some other videos around chart analysis and other things that I really find helpful. But yeah, if you want me to answer some questions or you want help with anything with the NFTs, tweet at me at LiamDNFT or comment in this comment section below this video. But yeah, the videos on my YouTube will be used to try and keep giving out whitelists. As I said, I don't want to do a Discord grind. I want to just keep rewarding people by helping them with NFTs, helping provide some education and some knowledge, and have a good time whilst we're doing it. So that is the strategy I'm going with. People seem to be enjoying it for now. And yeah, until next time,